All right, so get ready because we are diving deep into manifesting today.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, you guys sent in this really interesting YouTube video. You want to manifest your dream life? I got you. By the wizard Liz.
Okay.
So we're going to unpack that and see, what Liz has to say about manifesting.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how she kind of addresses those like common criticisms
Mm.
because a lot of people think it's just wishful thinking.
Totally, like, is this just a bunch of nonsense or is there
Mhm.
something more to it? And
Right.
and Liz, like, right away, she's like, listen, this isn't about believing in lies. She actually says that we're all delusional to some extent.
Hmm. I like that. That's intriguing. How does she like back that up?
So she uses the example of believing that we're going to wake up tomorrow.
Okay.
Logically, we know, like one day we won't.
Right.
But we still, we make plans as if we are.
Right. We just assume we will.
We just assume, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like we already practice a form of delusional faith every single day in a way.
Yeah. No, that's true. Like we operate under that assumption. So then where does that like how does she take that then to manifesting?
Well, she's basically saying, look, if we can believe in something as big as waking up tomorrow,
Yeah.
why not apply that same faith to our desires?
I like that.
Yeah.
I mean, we believe we're going to wake up tomorrow, so why can't we believe
Yeah.
that we can have the things that we want in life?
Exactly. So it's an interesting way to like reframe that whole concept.
It is. So how does she, like, what are some of the practical elements that she offers?
Yeah, well, she talks a lot about letting go of the past.
Okay.
So that means like past relationships, unsatisfying jobs, anything that she sees as kind of holding you back.
Okay, so anything that's like baggage.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's not like she doesn't sugarcoat it. She's like clinging to those negative experiences is like sending a message to the universe or God, as she puts it,
Yeah.
that you don't trust that something better is out there.
It's about addressing those self-limiting beliefs.
Yes.
Right. If you're constantly like hung up on this past relationship,
Right.
how are you going to be open to finding a new love or whatever it might be?
And she directly connects it to like manifesting things like money or a new career.
Okay.
It's that fear of letting go of what you have, even if it's not serving you, that can block you from attracting something better.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like that fear of like scarcity almost.
Right.
Like, oh, if I let go of this thing, then I'm going to have nothing.
Yes.
But it's really about, abundance.
Yeah.
And trusting that there's more out there.
Exactly.
So it's a mindset shift.
Totally. And she even she tells a story about encouraging people who are like miserable in their jobs to just quit, fully believing that new opportunities would emerge.
Okay.
And she calls it having faith in the abundance of the universe.
Interesting. So it's like taking that leap of faith. I mean, it's one thing to say it. It's another thing to actually do it. Right. Like to quit your job without having another one lined up. That's scary.
It is. It's very scary. But she seems to be, advocating for that.
Yeah.
Like you have to be willing to kind of close that first door.
Right. Because then that opens up the possibility for something else to come into your life.
Exactly. Exactly. It's like that saying, when one door closes, another one opens. But in this case, you have to close the first door yourself.
Right. You have to be in the driver's seat of your own life.
Exactly. Now, another thing that she emphasizes a lot is gratitude.
Okay. Yeah. Gratitude's huge.
Yeah, she's like a huge advocate for really appreciating what you already have, no matter how small.
Yeah.
And she talks about how just like taking a moment to be grateful can shift her mood instantly.
Sure.
Like if she's feeling down or negative, just like that, gratitude practice can like totally change her perspective.
Right. Because it's about focusing on the good, even when things are tough.
Yeah.
And I think what she's getting at is that it's not just about like feeling good in the moment, although that's important.
Right.
It's also about shifting your overall energy, your vibration.
Yeah.
If you're constantly focused on what you lack, you might inadvertently attract more lack.
Oh, interesting.
But if you can cultivate that sense of gratitude for what you already have, it's like you're telling the universe, hey, I'm good. I'm open to receiving more.
It's like a mindset of abundance.
Exactly. And she has this really like thought-provoking quote. She says, what if tomorrow you were left with only the things you were grateful for today?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Right. It makes you think, like, what do I truly value? What am I
Wow.
grateful for?
Yeah. What really matters.
Yeah.
It's not about the material things.
Right. It's about the relationships, the experiences, the small moments.
Yeah, the simple things.
Exactly. Yeah. And
Yeah.
it really makes you realize, like, how much we take for granted.
Totally.
We're so caught up in wanting more that we forget to appreciate what we already have.
It's so true. So, okay, we're like cultivating this attitude of gratitude.
Okay.
How do we then channel that into like manifesting specific desires?
Well, Liz is a big believer in specificity.
Okay.
She's like, don't just say, I want money.
Uh-huh.
Like, be specific. What do you want?
Yeah, like how much money?
Yeah.
What are you going to do with the money?
Right. What kind of car do you want? Describe it.
Oh, wow.
What does your dream house look like?
Okay.
You have to, like, get really clear on the details.
So it's almost like you're creating a vision board in your mind.
Exactly.
But with like really specific details.
Yes. And she even takes it a step further, which I think is fascinating. She talks about, like, visualizing yourself as already having those things.
Oh, wow. Okay, how does that work?
So she literally will, like, look in the mirror and affirm her desired outcomes as if they were happening right now.
So she's not just like picturing it in her mind, she's actually saying out loud.
Yeah, she's embodying it.
Oh.
And, it might sound a little out there to some people,
Yeah.
but there's actually, like, a method to the madness.
Okay.
It's about aligning your subconscious mind with your goals.
Oh, interesting.
Right. Because if you're constantly thinking, oh, I don't have this, I don't have this, I don't have this,
Yeah.
your subconscious is like, okay, message received.
You're just reinforcing the lack.
Exactly.
Okay.
But when you start to visualize yourself as already having it,
Right.
it's like you're planting those seeds.
Got it.
And your subconscious is like, oh, wait a minute, maybe this is possible.
So it's almost like you're like tricking your mind into believing it.
In a way, yes.
Yes.
It's about shifting those thought patterns, those beliefs.
Interesting. And I've heard like similar things about, positive affirmations.
Absolutely.
Like saying, I am wealthy or I am successful, even if you don't necessarily believe it in that moment.
Right. And Liz is a big proponent of affirmations.
Right.
Because she's like, look, it's not enough to just think positive thoughts.
Right.
You have to, like, embody them. You have to believe it.
So it's about like taking action, right? Like it's not enough to just like sit back and wait for things to magically happen.
Exactly. You have to meet the universe halfway.
And she uses the example of someone wanting to lose weight.
Okay.
Like manifesting a healthier body doesn't mean you can just like skip the gym and eat whatever you want.
Right. It's not magic.
Yeah.
You still have to put in the work.
You still have to like eat healthy.
Yes.
You got to exercise.
It's about aligning your actions with your intentions.
Okay.
Right.
So it's like an inner game and an outer game.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's like you can visualize yourself being fit and healthy, but if you're not also making healthy choices, you're not going to see the results.
It's like you're sending mixed messages.
Exactly.
Okay.
And it's the same with anything you want to manifest, right?
Right.
If you're visualizing a successful career,
Yeah.
but you're not, like, updating your resume, you're not networking, you're not putting yourself out there, it's not going to just land in your lap.
It's not going to magically appear.
Right.
Okay. So it's about taking those aligned actions.
Exactly.
Okay, I like that. Now, she also talks about this idea of like cleansing your environment.
Oh, yes.
And she's not just talking about
Too.
Yeah.
But she specifically calls out social media.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
She's like, if you're following accounts that make you feel insecure, that trigger you, it's like surrounding yourself with toxic friends.
Oh, I like that analogy.
Right. It's about being mindful of the information that you're consuming.
Your information diet, yeah.
Exactly. Just like we might choose to, like, distance ourselves from negative people in our lives,
Right.
we can do the same thing with the content that we're consuming online.
So it's about curating your social media feeds, like unfollowing accounts that don't make you feel good.
Exactly.
And instead, like seeking out content that's positive and uplifting.
Yes.
Oh,
Surround yourself with things that inspire you, that motivate you.
I like it. Now, there's one more thing that she talks about that I think is like really important to unpack. And it's the difference between desperation and belief.
Oh, yes.
Because she's very adamant that you cannot manifest from a place of neediness or desperation.
Right, because it creates resistance.
Oh, okay. How so?
When we're coming from that place of lack and desperation, it's like we're saying, I don't have this, I don't have this, I need this.
Okay.
And that energy of not having it can actually block us from receiving it.
It's almost like you're putting out this energy of, ugh, I need this so badly, and it's like repelling it almost.
Exactly. It's like you're pushing it away.
Okay.
Because you're focused on the lack, not the having.
Right.
And, she frames it in terms of, like, her own belief system.
Okay.
She says, that kind of desperation is like telling God or higher power,
Right.
I don't trust that you'll provide for me.
Interesting.
So it's about shifting from that place of lack to a place of faith and trust.
I see. So it's like almost a surrender then.
In a way, yes. It's about surrendering to the belief that what you want is possible.
Okay. And that it's on its way.
Exactly.
Now, that actually reminds me of something else, this whole idea of self-sabotage.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's like, if deep down you don't believe you're worthy
Right.
of receiving these things, these desires.
You're going to unconsciously act in ways that prevent you from getting them.
Yes. It's like you're getting in your own way.
Exactly. And Liz suggests that one way to kind of combat that self-sabotage is to really embody the feeling of already having what you want.
Okay, so not just visualizing it, like seeing it in your mind.
Right. It's not just about the visuals.
Or like really feeling it.
Feeling the emotions.
Okay.
Like, how would it feel to have that dream job? How would it feel to be in that loving relationship?
Yeah.
To have financial abundance?
So she talks about like really, if you're visualizing your dream car,
Yeah.
don't just like picture it.
Right.
Like really imagine like what does it smell like?
Yes.
What does the steering wheel feel like in your hand?
Exactly. Engage all of your senses.
Wow.
Make it real in your mind.
I like that.
And she also talks about like using tools like journaling, vision boards,
Okay.
things that can help solidify those desires.
Oh, like bringing it into the physical world.
Exactly. Because when you write down your goals, when you surround yourself with images that represent your aspirations,
Right.
it's like you're sending a powerful message to your subconscious mind.
It's like a reminder every time you see it.
Exactly.
And she tells this really interesting story
Oh, yeah.
about how she found this old piece of paper
Okay.
where she had written down all these goals like years ago.
Okay.
Totally forgot about it.
Mm.
And guess what? She had achieved every single one.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
It's like even when we're not consciously thinking about it, our subconscious minds are still working on these things.
Yeah. It's really powerful.
It is.
Now, she also touches on something that I think some people might find a little out there.
Oh, really? Okay.
And it's this idea of like asking for signs.
Asking for signs. Okay.
Yeah. Like from the universe or God.
So she believes in like getting those little confirmations.
Yeah. Like she tells this story about how she asked for a specific sign.
Okay.
A lion.
A lion. Wow.
And, she didn't see a literal lion walking down the street or anything.
Right.
But she did receive a gift later that day that she interpreted as a sign.
Interesting.
And she felt like it was like a confirmation that she was like on the right path.
Okay.
So it's about like being open to receiving guidance in those like unexpected ways.
Right. Paying attention to those synchronicities, those little winks from the universe.
Yes.
Whether you believe those are like actual signs or just coincidence,
Yeah.
I think what's important is that it gets you thinking. It gets you noticing.
It's about like trusting your intuition.
Exactly.
So I think, overall, Liz's approach to manifesting,
Yeah.
it's definitely a mix of practical steps,
Yeah.
a little bit of spirituality,
Yeah.
and a whole lot of self-belief.
Yes. And I think that's really the key takeaway here.
Yeah.
It's not about sitting back and passively waiting for miracles to happen.
Right.
It's about taking action, believing in yourself, and trusting that the universe has your back.
It's about creating the life that you want.
Exactly. And I love how she ends her video. She says, you deserve a great life.
Yes. Such a powerful statement.
Because you do. We all do.
We all deserve a great life, and it's up to us to create it.
Exactly.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave you with this question. What would it look like to live as if you truly believed in your own potential? What small step can you take today to move closer to that vision?
Those are great questions to reflect on.
Thanks for diving deep with us. Until next time.